Hey everybody, Miranda Pitrone back here with you today. Just gonna do a simple flower of mine that is zooming around Pinterest, so I'm assuming there's interest in learning how to do it. So we are going to do that today. Alright, so I actually switched out the stone because this one's a nice dark background for our flower. Alright, so one of the fun things about flowers is that we do not have to find the center of our stone. We just find a spot where we would like the center of our flower to be and think of the rest as having a space for the stem to go around. I'm just deciding which side of this rock I want to use. Okay, so I'm going to use this side. And this rock's size is about 5 inches by 3 inches. So that's going to be the size I can fit my design on today. And with the flowers, I find it just a little helpful sometimes to just kind of eyeball where I would like them to be, but then also just kind of sketch out the petals after I do my center dot. So that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm thinking probably about here, and that would give us room to put a stem with a little leaf on it. All right. Okay, so here are our colors we're going to need today. The center is going to be done in gold, and then we're going to need like a sun yellow, goldenrod. I have a Christmas red and a white. And then for the leaves and the stem, we're going to need a spring green or celery green, ocean green, grasshopper green, and turquoise. Also today I am going to be using the brushes from Princeton, the Angle Spot Detailer. It's a size 10-0. Yes, I promise that's the size I use. It just takes some practice. And we're probably going to be able to do the entire flower with this one paintbrush. So, and I also have my etcher, which is basically just a dotting tool that I broke the end off of. And it allows me to scratch onto the surface of the stone or canvas that I'm working on. And rather than have pencil marks that I have to erase at a later point or chalk that makes a mess for me, I can just wet this and it takes the scratch marks completely off. Or the varnish that I use when I go over it with varnish, it dampens the etching enough that they go away. So I don't have to worry about finding the lines and erasing them if I didn't follow them exactly with my dots. Okay, so I've seen the paints, this is the stone, and we're going to do a flower. So we're going to start with our center dot, I believe I said here. And the center dot is going to be the gold. And I'm going to be using my multi-surface gold just because I can't find my other one, but I do have a spun gold from Decoart that works well. Just any kind of shiny metallic gold that you have, you can use for the center. I'm just going to do this exactly like the one that I made years ago, but it's going around Pinterest, so like I said, I thought it might be something that people would like to see done. There, so there's my center. And if you're using dotting tools, you probably want to go with your largest size tool. So if you have the nail dotting set, I think it's the green, has the largest 3mm. And if you still can't get a big enough dot, really you can just push it into a circle. It doesn't have to just be a touch and pray that it gets the right size, and just put a good amount, a big gob on there and push it around. Okay, now one thing that's a little different with some of the flowers that I do, there, that light's maybe a little better, is generally with the mandalas, a lot of people, we do the plus sign, and then, so you're doing your 90-degree angles here, But with this, rather than the 8 dots, I'm going to just do the 6. So it'll be just 6 dots. So I'm going to start off with little ones above on either side here. But what we're going to do is kind of go off center to just do 2 on either side here. So we'll do one there, one here, and then you're going on a diagonal across from them to put their mates. So this one's on a diagonal from that, that's on a diagonal from that. Okay. Now what I like to do is once I have those first dots down, I can either use those for my center of my start of my flower, or we can put the yellow ones here and do that. Let me think about what I want to do here. I think we'll use these for our center. So I'm going to hold my stone and grab my etcher here. And then I'm just going to start at the side of this dot here. And just do kind of like a semicircle arch. And then match it on the other side. And I'm just kind of etching in petals so that I can get an idea for the spacing on the stone, as far as what size petals I can fit, what shape petals, etc. So I'm just etching them in like that. Alright, just so you have an idea, finish the petals, and then just kind of sketch a little stem kind of in a backwards J to curl up and around and fit a couple leaves in. But that just gives us an idea on how much of the design we can fit on this stone. So one thing you can also do to kind of help yourself if you want is purchase a compass. And if you start in the center of your flower, when you first make your X, you can always draw a guideline for how big you want your petals to be. And that would kind of help too for deciding the sizes all the way around. Just put a circle around here to gauge about the size of the design that you can use for your entire flower top. Now I'm just going to work on my petals, and these are just going to be white petals. So I usually start in the middle of the petal just because I like the dots to be thicker there. Just a personal preference. If you do it different, it's just going to change the design a little bit. It's just your preference. And then work my way around. Now, if your petals are too close together, you can also do one side of the flower petal first on each, and then you're not getting them too close together to where your dots might run into one another. Mine have a good enough space here, I guess I can just go ahead and do both sides. So for my Patreon subscribers to my art community, I am going to be doing the giveaway this month, just a little bit later because I just started this website. But for the monthly subscribers, it's going to be the giveaway on August 2nd. And I'm going to be giving away one of these brushes along with a sponge brush that I use for the varnish and a mini canvas for you to paint. So it's kind of just like a starter pack. for somebody who's looking to paint with brushes. And that will be the giveaway this month. So if you are new to my videos, I am on Patreon, Patreon, and you can become a part of my art community by subscribing to that. There's different tiers, different levels of subscriptions where there's different rewards and giveaways, and also they get to see the videos before anyone else that I put out, and discounts on merchandise, helpful hints, deals I find, all sorts of stuff. So if you're looking to be a part of a community like that, that's what I'm trying to build. And I'll put the link in the description here on the video. All right, so we're just working our way around the flower, just kind of outlining the petals to give you an idea, give us an idea of where our design's gonna lay here. So also one thing that I'm big on is coordinating with others and finding out what you're looking for videos and what you would like to see painted, or helpful hints or questions you have. So in the comments below this video, please feel free to get involved and ask away. I love hearing feedback from you all, and I appreciate so much the support and compliments that you all are providing and letting me know what you like about the videos, what you don't like. If you don't like something, please, seriously, feel free to say so. I love to hear the constructive criticism rather than just put a dislike on the video and move on, and we all have to learn somehow, right? So we build and learn from our mistakes, and maybe we can be more accommodating to other issues. I know I had a video from the beginning where I did kind of like a swirl in paint, and the music was a little off-putting, to say the least, I guess. And it came, when I loaded it, it came on very, very loud when I loaded it onto YouTube for some reason, but you know, I just loaded it and went on my way. Well, I did not realize it was blasting, and I had already watched the video on my own without it loaded on YouTube, so I never thought to check it. So I apologize. But then, of course, you know, learning curve with technical difficulties. I had to learn how to adjust the sound, and tried to change some of the music on it. It wouldn't let me change all of it, but... Alright, so there's the outline of our petals. And while those are drying, I kind of move about the pieces as I go, so we can work on the stem now, since we have our petals in there. And I am going to use an ocean green for the stem. And if you're using the dotting tools, you probably want to grab one of the larger ones again. Just because I like the stem to be a little chunkier with thicker dots. And then just tuck one right in there. And then just work our way down around the curve. And that's what's helpful too, time-wise, sketching it out. I know a lot of times with the mandalas, I don't, pardon me, I don't have a plan as to what I'm going to do. I just kind of decide, well, I feel like these colors today, and then just start in the middle and see where that adventure takes me. But since I'm doing the flower, trying to copy the one that I did in the past years ago, sketching it out is helpful. Then you just have kind of a plan as to where you're putting everything. It makes it a little bit easier. Okay, next I'm going to use the sun yellow. Like I said, this is a fairly simple design to start off with for flowers, so it's kind of fun. And I'm just tucking that yellow in between the whites that we started off with. And it's going to be the starter dot at the base of the flower petal. Okay, so while that yellow is drying, I'm actually going to go to the opposite end of the flower petals and put a big old white dot there. Just the same white that we used from the petals. And the next color is kind of like a goldenrod yellow, a little bit darker, a little more orange in it, but not to the point of orange. So, goes right at the top of our sun yellow. And then the next color is going to be whatever you have for a bright orange. This one's going to be pure pumpkin. All right, and after the goldenrod, like I said, is the pumpkin orange. This color tends to be a little bit thinner, so I'm just going to space it out a little bit farther so the dots don't blend into one another. Okay. And then while that's drying, I'm going to work on the stem again with the celery green or a spring green, something you have that's lighter. And I like to just add some highlight dots in there just to kind of bulk it up, give it some shape, but also a little more depth and dimension of colors. And I'm just doing small dots on either side of the larger ones that we did. Like that. And then go back to my ocean green here. And just kind of tap out the shape here of our leaf for our dots. Similar to how we did the petals, where you have a thicker ones in the middle. And then just kind of work your way out to the outer edge with some smaller ones. And then the same that we did for the stem, just highlighting it with a little bit of the light greens. And if you don't want to get too much into the edges, you can line the edges, but if you don't want to get too close to the edges just yet because they're wet, then you can just do a center line for now and then go back and put some lighter green in there. Alright, so I think this looks a little dry around the edges there, so I can now go to our red, which will be our last dot in our petals. And it also just helps to have like a nice bright pop of color in there. Kind of, we get to almost use the entire rainbow on our stone. And then in between the petals, I have the lighter turquoise. And I'm just going to go around and make some larger dots about, just over halfway up each of the petals. And then I'll probably just steel paint from here in the center of the ones that are wet. And just do some little dots down into the center in between the petals. Just to kind of give it that look of leaves being in between and behind. Like that. All right, so that was our turquoise, and then I have the grasshopper green, which I think actually too, rather than use the celery green again here, I'm going to use the grasshopper green just to kind of go for a different, to add more greens to it. But for now, we're going to do 3 large dots here around each of the turquoise that we just painted, just to kind of bulk up our leaf section here. You can tell it's a nice day. There's lots of motorcycles out. Okay, and then I'm actually going to go back to tie in that ocean green that we used for the stem. I'm going to use it, can you shut the door? On the outer part here. And do 3 dots above the grasshopper green that we just did. And then I think I'll design, I think I added a little bit of a white dot, a couple little white dots out on the outskirts of the petal. I think I just did that, and then like a little one, just to kind of lengthen the petals a little bit and give them kind of that delicate look to them as they're extended out. And can't forget these little guys down here. Like that. And then, oh, I was going to highlight the leaf with the grasshopper. So I'm just going to turn this a little bit so I can reach him. And I'm going to start from the center of the petal again, just a little bit lighter dots this time, just to kind of fill in the leaf and give it a little more color, and just to add a little bit to the design. But this is the basics of what I did on the one that's circulating around Pinterest. So there we have our stone. All right, so I look forward to hearing from you all. If you have any feedback, please feel free to let me know. If you like this video, as always, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and others who are interested in painting. Also, if you're interested in seeing my other videos, I have over 100 now, I think, on YouTube. You can subscribe to my channel to see all those. And if you were interested in looking to be a part of my art community, where you can see the videos before I release them to YouTube, and giveaways and lots of other fun stuff, then that is on Patreon, and I will leave the link below in the description. I hope you all have an awesome day, and this was fun. Take care.